Shabbat Shalom. In this week's Torah portion, what could be seen as a very simple listing of all of the important holidays that came into being in the ancient tradition, that list actually says something entirely profound about who we are as a people and what we are supposed to value. In this 21st century where life is going by so quickly, when things that happened in yesteryear are never likely to happen again, except for the fact that this last year, vinyl records outsold CDs. But beyond that, the idea is that progress marches onwards, and you are not going to see what you saw previously happen again. Our tradition tells us something different. It tells us that we have a particular cycle of holy days. It's anchored by Shabbat, which happens every single week. And then throughout the year, our Torah tells us it moves to Pesach, and then to Shavuot, and then we go to Rosh Hashanah, and then Yom Kippur, and then Sukkot. And of course, we know over time, many different holidays have found their way in between those major holidays. But it reminds us that even as our life is quite linear, in this 21st century of its pace and all of that in fact, there's something quite valuable of having our Jewish calendar be one that's cyclical, that Shabbat comes every week, that Pesach comes every year. It's a reminder that every time we come back to the Seder table or we return to synagogue on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we are different. We have changed, but in many ways we are the same. We are returning to our community. We are returning to family. Sometimes family members come into our lives. Sometimes, tragically, they leave our lives. But it's a reminder that even as time and our lives move inexorably onward, that there is something cyclical about it and that we will always come back to where we were before, whether it's in a yearly basis or it's a weekly basis on a Shabbat. It's always a time to remind us that life does not have to continue apace quite as much as we feared, but that we have the opportunities in a given week, in a given year, to turn back, to take that deep breath, to find ourselves in that holy place in time, surrounded by family and friends. I hope you find that this Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, friends.